The Cleveland Browns, sitting third in this division of the AFC North, come in with a 4-2 record. They have wins against the Cincinnati Bengals, the Washington Football Team, Indianapolis Colts, Dallas Cowboys. They have losses to the Baltimore Ravens and Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, this Cleveland Browns team is led by head coach, first year head coach, Kevin Stefanski, who comes over from the Minnesota Vikings after calling their plays last year. You also have first year offensive coordinator Alex Van Pelt, who comes over from the Buffalo Bills after working a few seasons with Josh Allen. And I believe he had a few seasons with um, Aaron Rodgers over in the Green Bay Packers for a while. You have Joe Woods, defensive coordinator, who comes over from the reigning Super Bowl appearing San Francisco 49ers. And he was a former colleague of Kevin Stefanski back when they both were under Leslie Frazier in Minnesota some years back. We also have tenured veteran, former head coach Bill Callahan, who runs the offensive line for the Browns. So let me talk to you about it. Are the Browns in win now mode? Roster wise, they had a talent. I think they have a good potential with the front office and coaching staff combo in place, but I don't think that performance on the field is reflecting that. My personal belief is injuries have decimated the Browns' full potential on defense. The offensive play calling has not been consistent, which I feel is the biggest reason that the Browns haven't looked to take the next step yet in establishing themselves as top contenders. A lot of weapons on offense, and so far only the backfield tandem of Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt has really made an imprint on the league. Receiving threats, Odell Beckham Jr., Jarvis Landry, Austin Hooper, David Njoku have not really made their mark on the season yet, and I attribute that to the lack of imagination by the coaching staff. Being first timers at their positions, no preseason, and honestly the whole pressure of coaching in Cleveland, I give them a pass after 6 games, especially being 4-2. Now people wonder, should the margin of defeat and losses to the Ravens and Steelers worry Browns fans? No. Good teams learn how to not beat themselves. Now people are wondering, should the margin of defeat and losses to the Ravens and Steelers worry Browns fans? No. Good teams learn how to not beat themselves with mental mistakes and blown play assignments. Learn how to adjust mid-game regardless of game plan. Put your best players in position to make impact plays consistently. Trust your players to be the best version of themselves. Embrace change. Every talent has to be utilized differently. The chemistry and understanding is still building with this new regime. Let us see how they progress over the next few games. Now, people wonder, should Baker Mayfield be benched for the remainder of the season? In my opinion, no. Baker is still a rookie, in my opinion. I say that due to the tremendous turnover he has endured during his Browns tenure. He needs someone to show him how to make pre-snap reads. You know, though a lot of that comes with experience. He has to be limited to a narrow focus at this point in his career. Simple, follow directions, roll out paths, 5 options. Primary, secondary, check down, take open run, or throw the ball away. Under no circumstances he's to take a negative play or a sack. He is too short and does not have enough pocket awareness nor composure to drop back play after play and dominate a game. He should be used a lot as a great vessel that allows the football to get from snap to playmaker in the best way possible. Coach after coach is forcing him to become something that he is not. It isn't about pride. This is about winning. Once this regime establishes themselves as respectable winners, then they can grow their farm system the way they want. But right now, it is all about winning, and the offensive identity should be getting the playmakers the ball. Should general manager Andrew Berry be looking to improve the defense via trade and free agency? In my opinion, oh yes. Listen, okay? The Browns have been hurt by injuries and overpaying a couple few guys who are not making an impact at all. Okay? Andrew Berry should be on the phone and should definitely be looking to improve this team. He's brought in quite a few people on 1 year deals, shortened deals, just to get through the season. It's a lot of talent out there that could really help this Browns team. People who know how to win. Okay, so let's just talk about a few people on this list. Defensive lineman Quinnell Williams, who has been made available by the New York Jets. Now, me personally, I think they should go for this trade. You could probably give up a future pick, give them Olivier Vernon, who, he'd take that money, we'd take that, get him a future like second or something. All right? And get this guy. All right? I'm one who's always said Larry Ogunjobi should be the defensive end opposite Myles Garrett because he is a run stopper and he has a little quickness. All right, he don't necessarily have to blow by everybody, but he's going to be stronger than most defensive tackles, and he's going to be more athletic. So he's going to be able to stop the run, set the edge, and knock down passes a lot. Sheldon Richardson has done a great job as an interior lineman for the offense for the Browns on that defensive line. He's done a great job, and he needs somebody else that allow him at his age to be the home record that he is. Quinnell Williams is young, and he's also could be the reason that the Browns don't have to re-sign Richardson for too much or feel like they have to. You just re-sign Miles. You could put Quinnell with Miles. You know what I'm saying? And this gives you a little more room to re-sign Ogunjobi. So I think Andrew Berry should definitely look into that. You have safety Earl Thomas, um, who's still out there, veteran, Super Bowl winner, leader. Right now, the Browns need a ball hawk and somebody who could just tackle in the open field. Yes, Earl Thomas could come down and play in a box. We don't need him to do that. We just need somebody who can lead that secondary. You know what I'm saying? We got good talent, young guys, young talented guys on the edges and on the insides. We need a leader back there. I wouldn't be opposed to bringing in Earl Thomas, but a lot of people don't like Earl Thomas's attitude. They say he changes plays and just think like, he know better than everybody. So, if that's the reason you don't want to bring him in because you got a young team and you want to keep control of that, that's understandable. But what about defensive back Tremaine Johnson? He was let go by the Jets. I mean, a few years ago, he was one of the most sought after cover man in the league. He went over to New York, and he ain't been getting as much publicity, but he can still play. We can bring him in, especially with Greedy Williams being down on the IR, who's probably out for the season or at least till the latter part of the season. The last 5 or 6 games. So I really think they consider bringing him in. You also have Ha Clinton Dix, who's still a free agent, and you can bring him in and let him play free safety. Now he's probably used to playing strong safety, but he can cover, And you got guys that's going to play in a box with Ronnie Harrison and Carl Joseph, and so if you can get another guy back there that's going to tackle in the open field and be able to play ball hawk in that secondary, be a quarterback, that'll really help. It's another guy, um, Darren Lee, linebacker. He's been a free agent and he's very fast. We run a 4-3 where we use fast linebackers. We need a linebacker who can cover and who can tackle in open space. I would definitely recommend them look at bringing in Darren Lee. Any one of these guys. I feel like any one of these guys could come in and be an impact guy. So to answer the question, should general manager Andrew Berry be looking to improve the defense via trade and free agency? Yes. Yes. Emphatically yes. This roster is not complete, and every potential cornerstone piece is young and could still use some veteran leadership. The defensive secondary could definitely use a boost. Andrew Sendejo has been getting abused every week. I speak for most Cleveland Browns fans when I say his game footage is eye-soaring, okay? Eye-soaring. We got to get somebody else to play in place of this guy because he is not it. He's not it. So, how has the Browns' new coaching staff performed through 6 games? Well, they're number one in the NFL in rushing with 950 plus yards and number one in attempts with 172. They're 22nd in the NFL in passing with 154 attempts, and 25th in the NFL in passing completions with 95 completions. You got 25th in the NFL and completion percentage at 61.7. 25th in the NFL in passing yards per attempt at 6.7. 24th in the NFL in passing yards, 130 with 1,031 yards. 20th in receiving yards per reception. They have 8 rushing touchdowns, 10 receiving touchdowns. The defensive stats. Passed against 215 times for 141 completions, which leads to a 65.6% chance that a team passing the ball against this Browns defense is going to complete the pass. 1,482 passing yards have been allowed so far by the Browns defense, third most in the NFL. They allow 7.3 yards of completion. They've allowed 12 touchdowns through the air and 6 interceptions, which is tied for third most. They've been rushed against 112 times and allowed 435 yards, which is top 5 in the NFL against the rush. But they allow 3.9 yards of rush and have allowed 5 rushing touchdowns. Now, what do all these stats say? Okay, the stats say that they have the ability to control the clock and keep the other offenses off the field with their running attack, which, like I highlighted earlier, they have a very good running attack, and they've made that known. Coach Kevin Stefanski, I have to give him props for being true to his word when he said, we are going to be a running team. We're going to be a running team. We're going to be a running team. And he has ran the ball down the mouth of almost everyone, okay, in 6 weeks. But the passing game sucks, right? And this last week's game versus the Steelers, rivalry game, this game is important to every every Browns fan, everybody who's part of the Browns community. This is an important game. We come in 4-1, we ready to make a statement, show the league and show the division that we come to play. We got the roster, we ready, right? And these things stood out. The 20 being 20th or the bottom half of the league in passing and receiving, and being top 3 worst team in defending the pass. Ben Roethlisberger basically had a field day. But no, I ain't gonna say that. It was really about matchups. All right, we're missing key defenders on our defense, and they just found certain people to pick on and certain situations where they had the advantage. Which you have to credit Coach Mike Tomlin for good coaching, and the offensive coordinator Ricker for putting that staff for putting those combinations of plays together. All right, but Baker Mayfield really got exposed, right? From looking at it and just seeing, going over my film and the things I've seen, Baker is missing a lot of reads. And I feel like the Baker's biggest problem is his pre-snap read. So how has the coaching staff fared so far? I mean, you can honestly give them a B minus. All right, you can't give them a C, because then I'll be downplaying the impact and their 4 wins. And their 2 losses is to 2 teams that's been top of the AFC for the last decade or 2. So, you can't really put an asterisk right there. You give them the minus, though, because you have a potent offense as far as receivers and tight ends, and you have not gotten them in the game. And that could be due to just only the quarterback, because the offensive line has played well and the receivers have gotten open for the most part. But Baker, he is at a disadvantage. All right. Last week they started Case Keenum, and then they didn't start Case Keenum. He was brought in the fourth quarter, into the third quarter. But Baker Mayfield has been hurt. All right. I personally, you know, if Baker's hurt, he'll play Keenum. But I get the feeling that Kevin Stefanski wants to choose his own quarterback. I don't think he wants to be stuck with Baker as his guy. Now he might could take Baker under his wing and let him grow and teach him if Baker's willing to sit back and do that. But he is I don't think Stefanski wants him. That's starting to be shown. In case Keenan was brought in, I feel like as a safety net, just in case he don't want Baker. So we'll see how that develops.